Scabby
Podcast.
In an ancient hotel in room 142 lay two foolhardy fools with nothing to do. They sit and they ponder about movies they've seen, or trapped in a room and stare at the TV screen. Sometimes they play song on the instruments they've amassed, the Pinj and the Maggie on the Scabby Hayze Podcast.
Welcome to the Scabby Hayze Podcast. This is your co-host Maggie,
And I am your other co-host, Pinj.
and today we're going to be reviewing the 2011 movie Source Code, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, I believe was his name. What was it?
Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
The smaller 2-foot version of Jake.
Gyllenhaal.
Is it Gyllenhaal?
It is Gyllenhaal, yes.
Okay.
Michelle Monaghan. I don't know, some other people.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, so we just finished watching the movie
Literally seconds ago.
seconds ago. Just finished it. Okay, hold up. Let's start off with the synopsis. The synopsis is a soldier is trapped in a capsule and is constantly stuck in a perpetual time loop where he must figure out the assassin in a train, and he only has 8 minutes to discover who it is. This is the part of the episode where Pinj and Maggie go on IMDb and look up random things and see what the film has to say and what people think of the film.
The film doesn't say anything. The reviewers say it all, and the critics, and the people who watched the movie. It got a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 74% on Metacritic.
Dang diddly dangle, that's pretty crazy, y'all.
I think that people liked it.
I think other people liked it too.
I mean, I like it. I would probably agree with IMDb and give it... Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna agree with IMDb. They gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I think I would give it probably...
7.2 maybe? That's what I would give it.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
well.
a little bit better than, you know, your just average kind of boring movie.
Yeah,
A
there's-
5 out of 10.
There's
'Cause-
more to it than other films, and just kind of the way it handles the time loop situation. Not too differently, but enough that makes it sort of original and stand out. I don't actually have that many qualms with this movie. Like, there wasn't much that bothered me or was annoying. I would say there's a little bit that could be improved about it. Cinematography, for one, they could be a little bit more different. Editing was fine.
Yeah, definitely on the scale of like great movies to Fantastic Four. It's on the good side of the scale.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
First impressions, we won't go into spoiler territory yet. We'll leave that for later. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was kind of hard to understand because at first it was super fast paced, but I was able to keep up, and then everything was pretty easily understandable except at the very end I was completely lost and I still have no idea what just happened.
Okay, well...
But as far as like cinematography was pretty good.
It was fair.
I say it was pretty good. Animation, pretty easily. You can tell definitely some parts were CGI.
Oh, certainly,
Him
yeah.
falling off the train and rolling on the ground was really bad. And some of the explosions weren't that great either. But overall, I'd say it was tolerable. It wasn't any
it wasn't...
Fantastic Four.
It didn't take me out of the movie. It was just kind of, oh, okay.
But, okay, and as far as acting, I thought the acting was pretty good.
Yeah.
Except for whoever played the main scientist.
The main scientist.
Dr. whatever his name was. The guy with the crutch, he wasn't a very good actor. Either his character was like so quirky to the point where you think he's a bad actor, or he was just a bad actor.
I wouldn't say a bad actor necessarily. I would just say he didn't have that much to work with, most likely, with his character. I mean, it's...
He could have made something up a little bit more believable, though, because... I don't know. They tried to go for like an eccentric, you know, brainiac, and it came across as a bad actor.
No, I didn't see it that way. I felt it as more of just kind of your run of the mill guy in charge.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't want too much complexity in a character like that.
Okay, now, I've never seen a movie with Jake... Okay, tell me...
No, just say whatever.
Jake Gyllenhaal? I've never seen a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Jake Jello?
Jake Jello. Yeah, I've never seen a movie with him. So, first impressions on him, I thought he was a pretty good actor. And I liked his character and the way that he portrayed it. Some of the other actors, the main actress, what's her name?
Michelle Monaghan?
Michelle Monaghan. I've seen her in Mission Impossible. And she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't have any other qualms with any of the other actors or acting in the movie other than that main scientist.
Yeah, this is also my first movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
I'm never gonna get that right.
I've heard a lot of good things about him, and for first impressions, I'd say, yeah, he is a good actor.
He's in a lot of violent movies.
Is he? I don't know, I haven't... Yeah. Like I said, this is the first thing I've seen him in.
It's like intense and violent.
He's gonna be in the next Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in there.
He's
Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am now curious what he's gonna do with that role.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm kind of glad that I got introduced into his like acting style and stuff before I saw it, because I want to see that movie.
Yeah, me too. I like that movie.
It's gonna be good.
You're gonna see that there Spider-Man Far From Home?
See Tom Hollingsworth. Spider-Man 2.
Tom Hollingsworth. It's Tom Holland, Tom Hollander, and Tom Hiddleston all mixed together.
Oh, yeah. And Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, he's not a Tom.
Okay, so plot. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Should we go into spoiler? Should we go into spoiler alert yet?
Well, we haven't talked about the plot yet.
No, hold on. I want to talk about cinematography real quick. It was fine, sort of run-of-the-mill. Nothing too creative, but I would say nothing dull.
Right.
It keeps you enthralled in the movie. You're paying attention, you know.
I will say that they were on the verge of reusing too many scenes at one point when they keep well, we might get into some spoiler alerts.
Spoiler alerts.
When they keep replaying the scene where he wakes up and he's in the train, then after a while, by the third time it happens, you're like, okay, how many more times are they going to play this? But then that ends up being the last time. So it's not overwhelmingly repetitive, but it's just enough.
The movie is not dull.
No.
I enjoyed it for the most part. We should have mentioned this earlier. I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah, it keeps your interest. Yeah,
yes.
I liked it too. It's not a movie that would go on my top 20.
Nah, me neither.
The character development wasn't too involved, but it did keep your interest, and it made you wonder what was going to happen. So
throughout, yeah.
Right.
Storyline-wise, I wouldn't say this is anything too original. We've seen this storylines similar to 12 Monkeys. You haven't seen that film. I have.
No.
There's a storyline very similar to that.
Immediately, it made me think of the Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah.
It made me
Edge
think
of
of that.
Tomorrow?
Right.
Is it? We need to watch that film at some point.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. That's immediately what it made me think of when I heard of the premise of the movie.
Yeah, this story has been done multiple times where a person's repeating time and they have to figure out what's going on, how to finish their mission, or what they're trying to accomplish in that time loop. So nothing too original, but it is done tastefully in its own simple way, I'd say.
Its own 2011 way.
Yes. This movie isn't complex, I would say, until near the end.
Yeah,
I would say
what the heck happened?
Hold up. Most moviegoers would find this very simple to watch. It doesn't require you to pay extreme attention to the film. It explains it very simply. There's not a ton of jargon.
That's true.
Of explaining, oh, this is how it works. It doesn't go into full detail. It gives a simple explanation, which I like. Time to give out our shout-out. Or shout-out to ourselves. I guess we're selling out.
What?
Is that considered sellout if... Anyways. We have social media. our Instagram account.
Scabby Hayze.
Scabby Hayze. We upload pictures every once in a while.
Right now, in fact.
Oh, yeah, go check it out.
Go check out a sweet picture of a microphone.
Yeah! That's probably going to be the only picture on there for the rest of eternity. No space.
SKABBYHAYZE.
Okay.
Crap. Is it really?
Yeah, it's SC. Not SK.
I may have really messed up when I made this, then.
Why?
I may have made it with a made-up Gmail account.
What have you done? You moron.
Hang on a minute. Oops.
You are so dumb.
Oh, it's right in the... Okay,
Oh,
hang
my
on.
word.
I can fix it super fast.
Okay, thank goodness.
But I don't know, like, what in the world did happen? Okay. Fixed!
Yo, check out our podcast at SK...
SCABBYHAYZE. Shut up, I'm spelling it.
XJ.
Thank you.
Alright, say it again.
No.
Do it. You want us to succeed in this whole podcast thing or not? We're gonna be low-level podcasters if you don't quit messing this entire thing up.
Me?
You spelled it with a K. How's anyone gonna find it if it's misspelled? Well, anyways, after spending 4 minutes to talk about nothing, essentially, check out our Instagram, our Twitter. That doesn't exist yet, but it will. Maybe? I don't know. You need to set up Twitter and understand it, because I'm dumb. We have our website, scabbyhaze.wixsite.com/scabbyhaze. We have our Gmail, scabbyhaze@gmail.com. If you want to contact us, ask us diddly squat questions. And you can find our podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, and Podbean.com.
Podbean. Spoiler alert. Dude, you didn't talk much about cinematography. Okay, I'm gonna add something about the cinematography.
Alright.
All it is literally shots of downtown Chicago and surrounding areas in Chicago too. Now, I have been to Chicago.
Have you been to the
and
area?
And I have experienced firsthand. No, actually. I might do it in injustice, but I still hold the belief that Chicago is just plain kind of... I don't know. It's not a very pretty city. Sorry!
Differing opinion. You heathen.
I have a different opinion than somebody else. I'm gonna die! Yeah.
The Chicagoans will be after you.
I know. Well, I feel bad for saying that, but...
Just our luck, the one listener that we do get is going to be Chicago.
From Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, and also New York
You piece of junk! I'm not listening to your podcast anymore.
They'll also be offended that you sound like Christian Bale.
Mike. They're going to be offended that you sound like Mike.
Mike.
Everyone knows Mike.
That old Mike.
Oh, bloody Mike!
You sound like Christian Bale from Prestige.
Yeah, so?
Sarah, shut up!
Sarah, shut up!
No.
Look at this!
As we do the goldfish bow trick.
I like the goldfish bow trick, goldfish bow trick, goldfish, 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 goldfish bow trick, goldfish. The cinematography does very focus on Chicago, which is nice. It feels... Would you get your nose out of the microphone? You're drawn into the area, the set piece, you know, of the train and where it's going. You really understand, the placement, which is nice. Maybe a little bit overuse of, like, overhead shots, I'd say. But I do like the repetition that the film does have. So
I like
it feels,
overhead shots.
But I do like the repetition. I do like the repetition that the film does have in some scenes to make it really feel like it's a continuing timeline.
Right.
Or at least, I mean, a timeline that is looping. That's the word.
Looping.
Looping.
Do you ever once in a while loop?
One time I looped in this time.
And they did the goldfish boat.
Shut up, Michael Caine. Michael Caine, get out of here. Go on. Beat it. Do it, go on.
Do the goldfish boat.
Michael, I told you to leave. We're recording.
Somebody once told me.
Michael,
the world
no.
was gonna roll.
Get out. Get out. Come on, shoot. Shoot.
I ain't
Get it. Beat it. Come on. Beat it. Oh, what a fink. Sorry, we apologize for Michael Caine coming in.
Yeah, he's gone.
Anyways. Oh, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Give our final thoughts, round them out. That way people, if they haven't seen the film, know our point. Because we only talked about a few things. I enjoyed the film. I'd say it's worth a watch. It isn't, per se, the best film, but it is a good watch.
I feel like if you're really bored and you want a movie that is full of action, sort of has to make you think, but one that isn't too involved, then it's a really good watch. It's good for a boring, lazy day. Not that the movie is boring, just it wouldn't become one of your favorite movies. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
but
probably.
I still recommend it because it is a lot of good action, cinematography is nice, and the acting's pretty good. I don't know, it's just kind of an overall, I wouldn't say a fun film, but
Enjoyable.
yeah, enjoyable.
Entertaining.
Entertaining, yeah.
I agree. One last thing I want to add. It's not the best film, but it is enjoyable. It's not a must-watch, but it is, if you're bored, like Maggie said, it is a good movie to watch. There's nothing in it that really made me aggravated or mad. You might argue with this considering the end, which I guess, let's go into spoiler alert.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it again.
What?
I've said it about 50 times.
What? Spoiler alert?
Yeah, and then we never talk about it.
Alright, fine. We're going into spoilers.
Okay.
Ye who have not watched the film, beware.
Close thine ears and shut thine eyes.
Your eyes, your throat,
And
your
shut thy
lips.
face.
And
But
shut
please continue listening to our podcast.
And shut thy pie hole.
Yeah. Alright, spoilers. Let's talk.
What the heck happened at the end? Here's what I do understand.
Alright.
I'll start from the beginning. There is a soldier who is on a mission, on a helicopter mission, I assume. He's like a pilot or something like
It seems
that.
so.
Okay. Well, he wrecked and he kind of died. But they caught him before he completely died, or they were able to capture a tiny itty bit of the brain that he had that was still alive, that was still working. They tuned into it. They were able to capture his thought process and maybe some of his training and hone it in and embody it into another person. So in like a alternate universe.
Alternate reality.
Yeah, alternate reality.
Okay.
So they have all this scientific stuff like plugged into him or whatever. He's embodied in somebody else that matches his like age and height and weight and stuff like that. They got as close to him as they could. The people that have his real body, that have his brain, are scientists, and they're trying to extract some information out of a train that has a bomb on it, and they're trying to find out the person who planted the bomb on the train.
Yeah?
And they're using him as another person to find out
Yes.
who planted the bomb.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, that's correct.
So he keeps on going through, and he has 8 minutes each session to find out who planted the bomb. And he goes through multiple times, and then eventually he finds the guy. They're able to capture him. After that, they don't really have a use for him anymore, but they're going to use him for future things like this.
Assignments.
Right.
Projects. They take his brain and they use it for assignments. Afterwards, they're going to wipe his memory. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and then he'll die.
Yeah.
No, they're going to wipe his memory of that assignment
But
and
he
then just assign him to a different mission.
But he does that.
Yeah, but he gets a hold of one of the ladies that works with the scientific people to agree to help him and actually save everyone on the train that they thought had blown up. And so she agrees to let him save everyone on the train, to have 8 more minutes, 1 more session, where he can save everyone on the train. Then he will die.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't use him anymore for experimenting. So she does.
And this is at the point of, like, there's, 10, 20 minutes left of the film?
Right. So he goes through the 8 minutes again. He saves everyone on the train. The train doesn't blow up. The people are able to capture the man who planted the bomb. He dies, supposedly, or I assumed that the real... What's his name?
The main character?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh no.
I don't know.
It's Captain...
Oh, it's Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Not the actor. The
guy who
Captain...
plays.
Captain
Salazar.
No. Captain
Jack Sparrow.
Shut up. Captain Colton?
Captain Savvy?
Shut up. Coulter. Okay. So, Captain Coulter dies, and the person that he embodied was...
That was the guy on the train. They were using
Sean.
his brain.
Yeah. Don't confuse me, okay? It takes very little of anything. Okay, so Captain Coulter dies, and then the guy that he was embodied in, Sean, goes back to being his regular self. But that's what's kind of hard for me to understand, because when Coulter is embodied in Sean, then what is Sean doing? Is he understanding everything that's going on?
I think
Or is he just kind of going along with it? I mean, he kind of has to, because Coulter is taking over his body.
I imagine...
But then, after Coulter dies, Sean goes back to normal. And that's the end? But then, something happened after that I have no idea. Like, I don't understand it.
No,
so he was like, you created an alternate universe. And I'm like, what the heck? So did he actually die or not?
Who, Sean?
No, Coulter.
Coulter? Yeah, because his body was still there.
I know, but how was he... He flatlined and died.
So in the first reality we see, he dies. Like, he's flatlined. And then in the second reality, he's still in the box, getting ready to be used for a mission. Because remember the scientist at the end with the crutch is like, one of these days a crisis will appear and we'll get to use this program.
Right, because so it acts like they'd never used it before.
Yeah.
But, okay, I think that he died in the real universe and nothing happened. But in the alternate universe, he saved the train and everybody's still alive.
In actual time or in his brain?
In actual time, and maybe he became Sean.
That'd be really weird.
That'd be really weird.
That'd be really weird, because Sean would just be either floating in limbo or non-existent, which would really suck for Sean.
But maybe Sean is still back in the other universe, and there is no alternate Sean.
Oh, they switch places, so Sean's in the dead guy's body?
That'd be terrible.
That'd be the worst. Poor Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, there needs to be a sequel where Sean's in the dead guy's body.
No, there has to be a third alternate reality where Sean's
word.
alive and everybody else is alive.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Okay,
That'd be a terrible film.
Well, I still don't really completely understand.
I would say it was rushed, but it was a good way to end the film in that short amount of time. Or else, like, having it too long would just drag on.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, why isn't this over yet? Should have been over 10 minutes ago.
What do you think happened?
I would agree with you, I think. He died in the real world, but an alternate universe reality was created where he's still alive and they're going to use him for another program. And the train survives. Everyone on the train survives.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
I think what goes on where they go to the bean.
Yeah.
Okay, remember earlier in the film they talk about the light bulb and how it goes dim?
Right.
And there's like the afterglow?
Yeah.
I think that's his after he dies. I think that's what that is.
And then eventually he'll be completely Sean?
Oh no, he'll be dead. In the first reality.
Okay.
So that like the part where they go to the bean, that's the afterglow of the first one.
Okay.
But in the second reality, there's been a timeline created where he saves the train.
Okay.
I guess Sean does? Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
With culture in his mind.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe the writers were a little lazy on the ending. It could be.
They're like, oh, let's just end it. Let's just put some science in there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I like the ending of the film.
It was fast.
I was hoping for something a little more grim, I guess.
Oh, man.
A little twisted. I was hoping for, like, maybe there'd be a twist and Michelle... Her name was Michelle, right?
No, that's her actress
That's
name.
her actress. Christina.
Yeah.
That Christina would end up being, like, the terrorist on the bus.
Oh, man.
Or something like that.
Oh, that would have been kind of cool.
I was expecting a twist. I guess probably because I watched 12 Monkeys, and that movie has sort of a twist.
But you know what?
Because they're very similar movies, and I was expecting something of, like, oh, he's going to be stuck in this for the rest of time, or something like that. I was expecting something. That didn't happen, and I'm happy with the movie as finished.
You know what? When you recommend a movie for somebody that has a plot twist in it, never tell them that has a plot twist in it. Like, I want you to watch 12 Monkeys. It has a great plot twist. Then I'm going to be looking for that plot twist the entire time. And I'm probably able to figure it out because I'm looking for it. Now, if I didn't watch the movie knowing that it had a plot twist, then I would be clueless. And then when it came, I'd be like, mouth wide open, jaw to the floor.
You can see it in 12 Monkeys, like, you can kind of see it of,
well, don't tell me! Don't tell me!
Alright, fine. Yeah, I guess in this film I was just expecting a more grim tale. But we didn't get that, and I am fine with that. I like the way the movie ended.
I liked how each of the 8-minute sessions that he had to go and find the person who planted the bomb, he picks out wrong people, and the people that he's suspicious of, and the people that he picks to search through their bags and stuff like that. Because it would be confusing, and, like, at first he has no idea who it is, he has no clue to who it is, and then eventually, time after time, each time he goes in, he finds a clue.
One thing I do really want to point out about this movie is it has weird timing. Like, very strange timing. In the fact of, like, you think a plot point is going to happen later in the film, but it actually happens earlier. The point where he actually finds out who the terrorist is. Mm-hmm. We find that out at, like, 2/3 of the way in. Which I wasn't expecting. Normally that's the point that's saved, like, at the end of the film. Like, he finally finds out who it is.
Right.
But that happens, like, 2/3 in, and I was surprised about that.
That's true. It made it a little bit more interesting, because then you wonder, well, what else
what else is there?
Yeah.
And then we find out, like, oh, there's actually tons more to this source code program.
Right.
To, like, what it can do.
Right.
Which is interesting.
I think the writers maybe got a little bit lazy in explaining why Derek Frost's, like, his motive for doing it. And I understood when he tried to explain away, the world sucks and I just, want to end it all. But,
that wasn't really his goal. It was Mission Impossible Fallout again.
Which
came out before, or came out after this film.
You have to start over from the rubble or whatever.
Yeah, in order to have peace, you gotta do some destruction for people to unite, essentially.
But
and be a better society because of it.
I mean, I don't know. It didn't talk a lot about him or anything like that, or why he thought that.
And there wasn't that much of, like, the villain aspect of, like, oh, he's evil and he's going to do this. It's more of, like, this thing happens and he has to prevent it from happening or find out how it happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I should add, if anyone listened to, what was it, our first podcast? What the heck was it?
Yeah.
Or was it the last podcast where we said we were going to talk about Lego Movie 2?
That was the last podcast.
Was the last podcast? We didn't do that. Yeah. Sorry if you're hoping for that. We might do it later, but we probably won't because the time's passed. Tune in next week, though, to hear Maggie and I's podcast where we just play tunes without any preparation. We just jam out.
Our jam sessions.
Yeah, our jam sessions, where we don't really do much except play music and have fun.
And goof off.
Yeah. Week after next, we'll have another movie review, hopefully, for, I don't know what, we'll find out. Whatever we pick. Maggie, do you want to throw anything else in here? Any last thoughts on the movie?
I say go watch it.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think. Because I would like to hear somebody else's opinion about it. I mean, I trust Pinj's opinion, but sometimes it's good to have a
second or third or fifth or 10th.
Right.
Yeah,
500 heads are better than...
Oh, I should have mentioned this. Going into this movie, I didn't know, like, anything, essentially. Maggie pulled this out of a list and was like, okay, let's watch this.
And we watched it.
And he said it was good.
Yeah. I'd say it was...
I wouldn't say this is a must watch. I'd say watch it when you feel like it.
Right. Yep. When you're bored and you're like, well, I've already seen everything. What should I watch?
Mm-hmm.
Watch Source Code.
Yeah. Source Code.
So...
This ain't no child for the kid.
I think we pretty much wrapped it up then.
And
we already said tune in next week to listen to our jam session. So So now we should just kind of play.
Dadgummit, Michael, get out of here! I told you. Leave. Get out! No. Get off the keyboard! No! Come on! Get off!